Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. Baltimore positive. We are positively into an incredible homestand here. If the Orioles can pick it up, the Yankees in town this weekend. All-Star week with all-stars, including even Jordan Westburg getting tapped on the shoulder. Maybe Kimbrel will get tapped before the weekend is over. By Friday, we'll have it all together. And before Lucas parades with his newest little niece and his other little niece down to Wildwood to go to Max Pizza and disappear during the All-Star game week, he and I will be convening at Fadley's, established in 1887 and moved into the new Lexington Market in April of 2024. Come on down, get some crab cakes with us, have a beer, boo at the Yankees fans, hiss at them, do whatever you want to do on the Packer Street side. Gold Rush Sevens, doublers. We'll have these. John Martin makes me give them to the Yankees fans too, so we'll be doing that on Friday from 2 until 5. I've invited some Yankees beat writers down. We have some good stuff, so come on by, say hello. The Yankees are in town. It doesn't get any better. Our friends at Liberty Pure Solutions putting us out with clean water, making sure if you have well water, if you have any plumbing needs, you reach them and call them, as well as Jiffy Lube Multi-Care, keeping us on the road and back forth. This guy was on the road last week, didn't have him on the program. Seth Elkin, pinch hit a grand slam here. Don't tell him I said that. But I thought you would be more apt to come in and talk this Guardians, Orioles stuff. And every time the Orioles hit a home run, I'm like, John's trying to find the money to pay him. The home run riches has really been something. And I think the Orioles, and certainly this homestand this weekend, you're an old baseball soul. You and I have talked Colavito and Sudden Sam. This is as good as it gets. Orioles, Yankees this weekend, 4th of July over with, All-Star break. We're in first place. These are the good days of home run riches, John Martin.
I see better days ahead, Nestor. I am going to go way out on a limb as prognosticator here. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
I can tell that the All-Star game, which has not happened yet as we speak, will be won by a combined force, an unholy alliance of Baltimore Orioles and Cleveland Guardians. I see those two teams coming together and leading the American League to victory.
They might be facing off against each other in October as we get closer to this and start to separate. Talking trading deadlines, all the fun baseball stuff that built this radio station 30 years ago that we love so much. And for home run riches for you, I don't know. Do you watch the Orioles every night? I mean, you are a Guardians fan. I know you're a baseball head, so I don't think you don't watch baseball. But when these home runs are getting hit and when Kjerstad's hitting grand slams, are you aware of it at 8 o'clock at night? Yeah.
Nope. I sleep very comfortably with my footy pajamas and my stuffed animal, which is probably more information than you needed to know. I overshare.
Is that a LeBron James thing that you're a Jim Brown thing? What is it?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. But no, I do not watch the games. I have an accounting team that does that for me. I have a Doug Lloyd, God bless him, watches the games, and he's instantly reaching out to especially the Grand Slam winners. But you know what? Coming up this weekend, you talk about the Yankee series. There'll be some anxious moments for a few folks. For instance, let's see. You can go to mdlottery.com and check this out.
You're going to give me the winners this weekend, aren't you? You're going to tell me who we're hitting home runs off Garrett Cole. Let's do it.
I'm going to tell you who's going to be excited this week. On Friday night's game, Diane O'Dwyer from Essex, Maryland, will be watching the game very closely. On Saturday, Ronald Nicholson of Baltimore will be watching. And then on Sunday, the last day before the All-Star break, Constance Mala from Essex. So we have Essex Friday, Essex Sunday. I don't know if that means anything.
Well, it does to me. I'm a Dundalk guy. Dundalk and Essex have a rivalry thing, right?
Yes, the Twin Cities, are they not?
It involves the plant. Well, that's why there's two towers there, one for each borough. And we fight about all of that. But when it comes down to it, when Essex people are playing home run riches, I'm Team Essex. I just want you to know that.
As you should
I want
be.
a lot of home runs. And by the way, my dude, Nestor Cortez, the unoriginal nasty, the second nasty Nestor, the junior nasty Nestor, at some point, I want a crab cake with that guy. He's pitching Thursday night, so he will not pitch against us this weekend.
Well, he's got nothing to do this weekend.
Listen, we could talk about my press credential and this and that, but if I ever have my press credential back, the first thing I do when the Yankees are in town is I'd be camped out the day he shows up and say, hey, I got a T-shirt for you, and I give him an old school Get Nasty T-shirt.
Whoa,
But he's not even
whoa.
pitching this weekend.
No.
You
You know,
guys
I
are
bet he
doing all
doesn't
sorts
go.
of it. When are you spinning the wheel again out there? Because you guys do that. You guys
Ooh,
have events. It's
you know
summertime.
what?
We're back on the grid.
I want to say it's your second favorite team. I want to say that's what it is. Let me jump ahead here. One
Who's my
moment,
second
please.
favorite team?
Well, hang on, hang on,
My
hang on.
favorite team's the Padres.
Your favorite team is the Orioles.
Well, the Padres were my other. Is that what you're talking about? I
Yes,
only have
yes.
one other jersey in my closet. It's a Padres jersey.
Saturday, July 27th, we will be at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. And then you may, if you are 18 years of age or older, you may come up and spin the wheel.
All right. Well, that's a Padres game night. You can go visit Manny Machado. You can visit John Martin and all of our friends at the Maryland Lottery by going to mdlottery.com. I highly recommend, especially if you're coming to Faithley's and getting these scratch-offs, download the app. The app helps a lot if you're into scratch-off games and want to find that if you win, you don't have to play all the rules and figure out all the Pac-Man stuff and all that good stuff. Winners. We get lots of winners, right? Like on a weekly basis, I get these over. It's astonishing how many people just pop out $100,000 on a scratch off somewhere.
You know, they do that in Silver Spring. Not a lot, but when it happens, it's a wonderful thing. Montgomery County rejoices in it. We had a gentleman who, let's see where he walked into. He walked into
Safeway.
Safeway. Yeah, there you
Yes.
go. Thank you.
Even
Walked
though
into
I'm Y
Safeway.
sponsor, but you can win stuff at Safeway too, you know?
You can win stuff at over 4,400 lottery retailers from Oakland to Ocean City, as I'm fond of
We
saying.
had a $10,000 winner at the Wise Markets in Edgewater. You give me the whole list here. It's incredible week after week how many
Yeah,
people
yeah,
win.
it is. A lot of people win, and we hope they're playing responsibly. We hope they have a plan for their winnings. Um, whether it is, and it hits people kind of cold. Life comes at them fast, right? I mean, you go in for whatever your trip was to the grocery store, and you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy one of these scratch offs. Which one looks good to me? This 50 times the cash looks interesting. Top prize $100,000, and then you scratch it off, and there it is, $100,000 looking right back at you. And as happens a lot of times, they don't believe it. They're stunned. They have to go back in and have a clerk maybe verify it for them, and then they get the good news confirmed, and then the fun really starts on the planning on how they're going to responsibly share that prize, perhaps with family, with friends, or keep it all to themselves.
Well, that's why I have the Maryland Lottery app here because, like, when I did have a winner come up to me with a $50 winner on opening day at Faithley's, and he came up, he said, I think I won $50. I'm not sure. Joop, you won $50. Yes, you did. And no, I did. No, really? Could it happen? It can happen to anybody out there. And that's part of the fun of doing this. It's part of the fun of me distributing these things at Crab Cake Tours and also new games and new promotions. You got a whole bunch of stuff coming up. I know we're tick-tock on the Ravens scratch-offs coming pretty soon. Luke's getting ready. They're breaking camp in 2 weeks. It's
I can't
crazy.
believe that. Are you sure? Check the calendar.
No, they play because they play that Thursday game. They're opening their camp earlier. They don't have 5 preseason games anymore. But I know you have that going on. And I know sports wagering news is coming up because it's sort of the beginning of the fiscal year. So you got a lot of like sports and football and summer business at the Maryland Lottery, right?
That's the fun part about working in the lottery industry is that every day is potential for some fun, for some excitement, and yeah, we tend to ride the sports calendar pretty heavy through the year. But we enjoy the sponsorships we have with both the Orioles and the Ravens. We'll talk more Ravens as the calendar turns to August. Since we're still hot and heavy here on, you mentioned Home Run Riches. That continues to go well as we speak. The progressive jackpot on the Home Run Riches Fast Play game is over $65,000, and that continues to grow. We have given away over $140,000, Nestor, at the theoretical halfway point of the season here. 5 of those
So that's
grand
65
salamis.
grand that's out there. That's like, don't tell anybody because my wife would want to hear her name on TV and
Oh
have
boy.
Gunner hit a bomb, maybe win $500. Maybe Westberg hits a grand slam, wins her $5 grand. But the big banana really is the progressive, right?
That's right. People can go to any one of the lottery retailers and ask for the Home Run Riches bases loaded fast play game. And if you're lucky enough to win a cash prize, great. But if you're really lucky enough, you may win that progressive jackpot. Each and every ticket sold contributes, non-winning ticket sold contributes to that jackpot, so that you can hopefully have a share of the prize. So that's always fun. That's a good time. And of course, being contestant of the game and watching, as you said earlier, watching the game, and $500 for every Orioles home run hit, and $5,000 if it's a grand slam. We've given away 5 of those so far this year. So I believe, and you know this better than I do, Nestor, because you're really the sports guy. I believe the Orioles lead all of Major League Baseball in home runs hit. Is that correct?
That is correct. And on a grand slam basis, I've asked you this because I do kid you, because you are the executive director of Maryland Lottery and Gaming, about how you're going to pay for all this, and whether you budgeted for them to hit 18 grand slams this year versus 11 grand. Like, I don't know how many they're going to hit, but they're going to hit more.
I believe last year, because we talked about this early in the season, I believe they had 6 all of last year.
6 was all of last year, and they're at 5 at the All-Star break here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's like I look at Westberg's numbers as we nerd out on baseball a little bit, and Rutschman. Westberg got snubbed, and I looked at him and I thought, if he were Joe Morgan, he'd be on pace to 30 home runs, driving 100 runs, like incredible productivity. But it really does speak to home runs. And as much as Palmer complains about the Great Wall of Baltimore and then moving the wall back, and me kidding you about it, you picked a nice time to bet on home runs. They're moving the home run fence back. The home run's still going out here, plenty.
It's funny, and I've never listened to Jim Palmer enough to know. I'm sure he would love to have that Great Wall of Baltimore behind him when he was on the mound. But yeah, it is. It doesn't seem to slow the boys down much.
Not
They
at
get a
all.
hold of it. It goes. We talk about sports. We talk about football and baseball. Some of the second tier sports, as I'll call it. We wrapped up. You're well aware of this. We wrapped up our Powerball NASCAR promotion. That promotion has ended. We now have 35 winners, people who have won already $1,000, that are quietly waiting until August 13th, when the National Powerball Group will select 16 finalists to go into a series of progressive, almost like a NCAA bracket, progressive steps towards an ultimate $1 million winner in Phoenix later this year. So stay tuned. We'll have some breaking news on middle of August to see if any of our 35 winners are fortunate enough to get into the semifinals.
People don't think
and be one of
about
the
these
16.
ancillary things. I'm glad we talk about them, whether it's the Olympic thing or NASCAR. You've done various like trips to Vegas and different things like that. But when you play Powerball or Mega Millions, you're just thinking, I want to win $100 million, $200 million. I want to be Lona Koning, right? But there's all sorts of tiers. And sometimes my wife has won $1 or $5 or whatever when she doesn't have a winning ticket or a second chance ticket or whatever. But more than that, they have stepped up incentives to make it more fun, much like you do with Raven second chances, where people get really cool experiential things above and beyond maybe winning a bunch of dough.
People can go to mdlottery.com and learn more about our current Mega Millions promotion, which runs for several weeks yet. And in that drawing, we'll have 3 separate drawings. We've already had one. Each of those 3 drawings will have 10 winners of prize packs, merchandise packs of USA Olympic gear, be it hoodies, tumblers, hats. But one lucky winner in each of these 3 drawings will win a trip for 2, a VIP trip to the Olympics of their choice, 2026 in Italy or 2028 in Los Angeles. And we've had our first winner, Nestor. Doug is in the lottery prize van as we speak, ready to talk to Cheryl Harrow of Baltimore, Maryland, about how she has found her newfound fame and what her plans may be for either Milan.
Hold
in
on. We have a
26.
woman here. Cheryl's going to pick whether she wants to go to LA or Milan.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
Well, first thing I would ask Cheryl, if I was Doug, do you have a passport? If she says yes, I'm like, this isn't even a question. I mean, I like LA. I go to LA. I'm not. Yeah, I'm like Randy Newman. I love LA. But I mean, I even have a Dodgers hat, and but go to Milan, right? I mean, right?
It's Winter Olympics versus Summer Olympics. So some people may have
buy a jacket
keener
and go to
interest.
Milan is what I would say. You don't need to be in LA in the summer. It's hot. It's smoggy. You don't want to do that.
Well, we'll see. You know what? It's not your choice to make, Nestor.
By the way, didn't we just have the Olympics in Los Angeles like a year or two ago back in 1984?
A year or two, yeah,
Gosh,
1984,
it's
Nestor,
crazy. It's
40 years
crazy.
ago.
That's 40 years ago. By the way, people, on my 25th anniversary, people ask me what segment I love the most after 32 years. And I did not put her into the documentary, but Mary Lou Retton, my all-time favorite interview I've ever done was in Houston,
No.
Texas about 7 years ago. She sat in on Radio Row at the Super Bowl and we ate ice cream together. She was promoting Cold Stone. This is before her health issue. I mean,
Yeah.
I love so when you say Olympics in Los Angeles, I think of Flo Hyman, I think of the gymnastics team, and I had Bart Connor on my show early in my career. So I'm talking 84 Olympians. Michael Jordan was an 84 Olympian. So like I think of the LA. So there was some pageantry to that, but I would still go
See?
to Italy. I would still go to
All right.
Italy. Yeah, I would
All
go to
right.
Italy for sure.
Well,
Eat
we will
pizza.
have two more drawings. So, again, each of those drawings go to mdlottery.com.
Cheryl,
So,
call me. Call me. I need to, you know.
so people can, if they're not familiar with the promotion, read up on it. You still have plenty of opportunities to purchase your Mega Millions ticket and enter that drawing. And we wish you the best of luck on that. So, yeah, lots of things going on with sports related themes, but we also have promotions that are not sports related. We recently launched a new game called Cash Pop. And
I'm still
that's
trying to figure out the rules of the
yeah,
simplest game that there's ever been, right? So
yeah,
explain to everybody for literally my wife and I have discussed this because she loves the concept of it because it's more like I call it like a casino or a parlor game where like it's like 21 or like 15 in this particular case, but is a very easy game once you understand it. Cash pop.
you can go to mdlottery.com for all the deets, as the kids say. But Cash Pop, yes, it's 4 times a day. We draw a single number from 1 to 15. So your job is, if you choose to play, is to select one of those numbers or multiple numbers. You don't need to buy one. You can buy, if you have two favorite numbers, you can do that or more. And then you're able to allow or to place a wager from $1 all the way up to $10 on that number, and you will get a random prize. So, for instance, if you and I both buy a $1 ticket, and I pick number 7 and you pick number 9, and my ticket may be a $5 winner, yours may be a $10 winner on the ticket when you purchase it. And then we both watch the draw. And if one of us wins, we'll win that associated prize. If neither of us wins, we'll go have a crab cake.
Well, it does remind me of like bull roast picking a number. It's that simple. I complicate it, and I shouldn't complicate it. John Martin is here. He is here to make things a little bit more simple. Something that certainly was complicated for you and I, and our relationship the last couple of years was sports wagering, getting it into casinos. First off, getting it legal, which the first 30 years of my career we talked about. Then getting it legal and then activated, and then mobile came after that. And you have that, I guess, for the first time, a full year, July to July, where the entire community has been activated. We've had a football team playing a championship game. We've had Super Bowls, all of that sort of stuff. There's a big, I don't want to play Ed McMahon to your Johnny Carson, but there's a timpani here, right? Like there's a number associated with this at the end of the year for all the clamoring and all the years. We have real data on this now, John.
We have had a good year. The folks in sports wagering on all fronts have had a good year. We have today roughly 25 sports books, mobile as well as brick and mortar retail locations. And as we draw fiscal 24 to a close, as we did on June 30th, the net, we'll start from there and work our way back. The net to the state was over $60 million in tax revenue, far exceeding the initial projections when this was still a very formative conversation, as you alluded to, and even our estimates a year ago when we looked at where we might end up this year. So lots of things contributed to that. You're correct. I think the Ravens run had a lot to do with it. I think people getting more and more comfortable with mobile wagering. Not that they had to adapt much; they were pretty comfortable from day one. But we also
hope
that
the up and up part we talk about. There's safety built in that Louis the bookmaker didn't have, and which is good and bad, right? I mean, we always tell everybody, please do this responsibly. It's so available now, like that. be careful and do this the way it needs to be done. But I think people that have fallen into it and have fun with it, and baseball games, and I like Mount Castle at a home run tonight. We'll have fun with this. Especially if you love baseball. I think baseball is probably bringing this on more than, I mean, I scoffed at it 3-4 years ago. So I don't know anybody that's ever bet on baseball because the lines were weird. You bet on the starting pitcher, but there's other sort of ways to do it that we used to do in left field. Everyone puts $1 in. We take a player tonight just for fun. And I think people are having a good time. I know many people that are having a good time with the baseball part of, hey, I want Westberg, or I love Adley. I bet $5 in a home run tonight.
There's no doubt that the proliferation of the bet types has gone way beyond anything that I would have imagined, but I'm no expert. There's just a lot of options, and so I always caution people: understand what you're wagering, get educated, ask someone, bet with your head, not with your heart. Let's keep it fun. Let's keep it within the guardrails of enjoyment and entertainment. And if you find out that you like a certain bet or a certain way to approach your entertainment with sports wagering, then good for you. But please play responsibly. It is something that unfortunately still for far too many people can get away from them. And we do our best to educate people, make sure resources are available, and they can go to a variety of websites, not only within the MD Lottery family, but others in local community. There are a number of people who are all focused on responsible play and putting in the safeguards and protections so that whether it be baseball or Ravens football or college athletics or whatever you're looking at, that you can have some enjoyment, but also be responsible in your play.
Yeah, I know when I've been out in Vegas years ago, they had a whole campaign about know the odds, know
Mhm.
what you're wagering on, know the real chances of Ryan Mountcastle hitting a home run tonight or not. And when it's $1 or $2 and it's for fun, as I've seen a lot of people do, I some point next month I want to get the people who actually take the 1-800-GAMBLER phone calls. I want to get
Sure.
someone from there to talk about what they're hearing and what, because I have concerns. I've told you this. I have people in my life that I thought, oh my God, if this thing becomes click clock, we got problems because
Well,
these people are a little too close to fanatical about it. And I've had them on the radio with me over the course of time, and I worry. But I also wonder when they make that call and they're looking for that help, that what does that even mean? What does that entail? What happens when you make that call? I want to dedicate some time to learning about that because it's a new
yep.
thing certainly in our state the last couple of years.
I would and this is we're kind of planning as we're live, so that's probably not good radio, but um September is a an education month for responsible gaming. So I would encourage us to do that in September. The football season will be fresh in everyone's mind. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to work with you and get some resources so we can have a very candid conversation
All
as
these
to
businesses that are
what that
doing all the
happens.
advertising, spending all this money in the middle of the football games, they're trying to get first-time people. And honest to God, I would be a first-time person, right? Like
Yep.
I've said a million times, the first thing that would have taken my press credential was betting on sports while I'm in a locker room, right? Now it's out there, it's for everyone. Even playing rotisserie sports was a
Yeah.
problem. Like fantasy sports was a problem in the media for all these years. So they're trying to get someone like me to download their app and go for the first time because quite frankly, my wife and I sitting here watching a baseball game, it might be more fun if she put $5 on Kramer or against. Like it would be more fun to sit and watch a game under that circumstance. I get that, but I've never done it. They're trying to get me. Once they get me, hey, slow the roll. And I think that that's for everybody out there that never wagered on this, that they're trying to get you to have some fun with it. I want everybody to understand the consequences and also understand that there's help available for them or someone they love in many, many cases. John Martin is here. He's executive director of all things Maryland Lottery and Gaming. We'll talk more about sports wagering next couple of weeks. And I guess we're getting up on when those Ravens scratch offs come soon. August.
The month of August.
All right, we're 3 weeks out. Did I miss anything here this week? Did we do enough Guardians for you? The first place Guardians. I have to say that while I can say first place Orioles because we haven't had a chance to say much of that.
Thank you. Thank you. I will acknowledge on behalf of people in the land that you have done the proper. Although, did you bow your head gracefully when you said I wasn't watching? First place Guardians, was
Well,
that part of it?
yes, and Listen, Luke came on this program on Monday morning, and we're talking about trading deadline and pitching, and who's going to be our number 3 starter when we play the Guardians in October, and
Oh,
we're worried about all of this, right? And he said to me like the base thing, and he's very smart about all this stuff, but he's like, if they win the World Series, it's going to be because of Burns and Rodriguez and Rutschman, and they've got the guys to win the World. So whoever they're getting is going to be like a third starter or a couple bullpen guys or whatever they get. And he said to me, they're already making the playoffs, and I was like,
yeah, he put that out there, huh?
hold on, but you feel that way, right? I mean, right now,
Sure.
if
Well,
I were a betting man on sports, I don't know what the odds are on the Orioles playing a playoff game, but it's got to be pretty strong at this point. And I said to myself, man, 33 summers I've been on the air in Baltimore. 33 summers I've done July 4th programming, All-Star Game Week. I've attended 20 All-Star games, done the show from there. We've never had an All-Star break where we're in the playoffs. We're like, that didn't exist back in the day when there weren't playoff teams, like in 79, 83 and all that. But
right.
that is crazy talk in Baltimore, Maryland on these here airwaves that we're in the playoffs. Like, I'm like, wow, we've come a long way, baby,
Yeah, and then there are stories that, and hopefully they're not in Baltimore or Cleveland this year, but there are stories, right? Was it the Phillies a generation
60,
ago?
man.
All of a
Wheeze
sudden, the
kids,
last
yeah,
2 weeks, just kind of,
Well, I said to him,
yeah.
and I know this will raise your eyebrows. I said to him, I witnessed Bucky Dent in 1978 as a 10-year-old. So like there is no lead safe to me for all of this, but we cross our fingers and we hope is what we do. And I know you feel the same way with your Landers and Believe Land out there as well. But it is a great summer. It's a great summer to play responsibly. It's a great summer to get involved with baseball. Come down, visit John's folks for the Padres series in a couple of weeks. Seth will be back with us before the month's over. John Martin is the executive director of all things Maryland Lottery and Gaming. He and Roz give us these Gold Rush 7 doublers to give away. We'll be at Fadley's on Friday. Maybe Roz's man, Greg from Northeast, Mr. Yankee fan. Now that they're in second place, I don't have a chance of seeing any Yankees fans this weekend. But we're going to be down at Fadley's. Luke will be with us. I have a Yankees beat writer coming by. We're going to sing some show tunes. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So it'll be good times. Our friends at Jiffy Lube, Multi-Care, as well as Liberty Pure Solutions, keeping our water clean. John Martin, I will see you next week, and we'll see you out on the front of BaltimorePositive.com. And I hope they don't take too much of the Maryland Lottery's money this weekend with grand slams off Garrett Cole. All right?
All right. Thanks. See you then, Nestor.
Nestor Cortez gets a break this weekend. Happy summer weekend for all of you. If you're getting down to Camden Yards this weekend, make sure you stop down to Fadley's and say hello. And my friends at the Baltimore Convention Center have reopened the Nest just in time for Nestor Cortez to come down. So I know the Nest is open on Friday and Saturday. So there's a shout out for Matt Campbell and my friends down at the Baltimore Convention Center that if you're in the neighborhood, stop by, get a cold beer and a dog, and support them O's. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Orioles baseball and Baltimore Positive.